This tutorial is going to show you how to make the mini pillow. So it starts off with 2 pieces of fabric, and they don't have to be the same fabric. I just happen to use 2 of the same one that are cut to the same size. Okay, it doesn't matter exactly how big it is. You just want it to be as close to a square as you can get it. Mine's a little lopsided square, that's okay. So the first thing that you want to do is to make sure that you don't stitch your entire project closed. So what I like to do is just put a little dot on my fabric, and I'm going to put it about halfway through one side, or about a third of the way down one side, and then about a third of the way up one side also. So this little gap here is going to be left open when we are stitching. So then you just go ahead and put this onto your threaded sewing machine. When you set it on your sewing machine, you want to line up at this bottom dot here. So we're going to put the edge of the fabric onto the 15 line, and then we're going to get close to this little dot that we made so it's close to underneath the needle. And on the 15 line, then we're going to drop our presser foot, and then we're going to start stitching. When we stitch this, you're going to go forward a few, then do your back stitch, then you're going to stitch until you get close to the corner of your fabric. Okay, then you need to make sure that you plant your needle into your fabric, lift your presser foot, spin your fabric around, and then drop your needle again. And now look how I'm close to the 15 line again. That's about where you want to be. So you want to follow whatever line you spin around onto. If I spun around and I landed on the 20, then I just follow the 20 line. So I spun around and landed on the 15 line, so I'm just going to continue stitching, making sure I keep it as straight as possible. So it's up to you if you want to follow the bottom fabric or the top fabric. If yours gets a little off, not a big deal, it's up to you. Okay, we're getting close to the corner again, so we just want to drop our needle, lift the presser foot, turn. Okay, so now this time I'm a little bit closer to the 20 line instead of the 15. Not a big deal at all. I will just follow the 20 line now instead of the 15 then. And you're going to do this in all 4 corners of your project so that you come back to where we started over here. When you cut the corners off of each, or the fabric off of each corner of your square, you want to cut so that you're really close to where you stitched, but you don't actually cut your stitches or you'd end up with a big hole in your pillowcase. So you cut close to the stitches, but not all the way on the stitches. I clipped all of the excess thread off of each side here, except for the side with the opening, because that's going to want to be left open so that are longer, so that it's easier to sew shut when we're done. After you get the corners clipped and the edges clipped down, you will want to flip your project inside. After you get your project flipped inside out, you want to get these corners out. So what I like to do is I just take and squish the fabric between 2 fingers, and as you do this, the corner starts to come out of your project. If it's not getting very square, you can always close your shears and then push the corner out with the edge of your shears. Just be careful not to poke too hard or it'll just blow a hole in your project. After you get the stuffing into your little pillow, you need to sew this shut so that the stuffing doesn't come out of your pillow. So you're just going to take and put your little pillow that you made onto your sewing machine, and you're going to line up the edge of the pillow with the edge of your presser foot. So you're going to have a very small seam when you do this. Make sure that when you start and end it, you're still back stitching. I'm just going to stitch down this entire line of my pillow. Once you've stitched down the entire edge, you want to back stitch at the end, and then lift your project off of the sewing machine. Clip the threads, and so now you have this little seam along the edge of your pillow. If you want to leave it that way, that is completely up to you, or you can go ahead and sew around each side so that they all look like this. It is completely up to you how you want to finish off your little pillow.